Welcome back. More Valorant coverage this week and next, coming to you from Berlin for the Valorant Masters tournament, finding out who's going to be the second international LAN champion. Right now, we're talking to the victorious G2. We got nukkye on the line. What's going on, man?
All good.
Hey.
Easy win. Was fun.
Well, you know, like let's talk real quick. After map 1, you know, you guys looked absolutely dominant, you know, like you were playing a team that maybe, you know, some people thought didn't deserve to be here. Map 2, it looked like it was a little bit of a harder fight. Does winning those early maps kind of make it hard when it's like a blowout win that first time around going into map 2?
I mean, sometimes, but the thing is about buying. Like, it's a really random map, and any team can upset any team. It's like you can be the 100% win rate team, and then somebody could just win against you. It's really really puggy and fits their playstyle. And we also have some sound issues, so we can't really hear like the satchels or the flashes and everything. So it helps them a lot. And they took the map off us. They also hit insane shots. So yeah, I think it's really good to win the first map. Otherwise, it would have been really bad for us.
One of the other things, too, is that you guys had the actual first, like, international kind of match, right? Playing against a team out of your region. How do you practice for that? Like, as somebody who's just an idiot, right? Like, are you just playing against different team comps? Is it different pushes? Like, what's the main thing that you're focusing on when you're going into the lab trying to prepare for this?
I mean, seeing if they're flashing or not, I would say that's the first thing. Mm-hmm. And just habits. Like a lot of teams like this from the regions, they do the same stuff. They react the same way. And I think that's mainly it. Just habits, utility, and then you can free flow. But yeah, anything can happen.
And the other really interesting thing here is, you know, like European teams are totally different this time around as compared to back in Reykjavik and whatnot.
Yep.
You know, do you feel like these are the teams like you included that should have been there in Reykjavik? Or is it just more, you know, you guys have evolved and this is how the teams shake out now?
I think it was a different meta back then and we weren't good enough to adapt. So, of course, they got the upper hand against us and they won. That's why they deserve to be in Reykjavik, and we didn't. And, I mean, this time it's totally different. Like, the meta switched and it suits us better, and I think we can, you know, it's like our winning conditions.
Well, yeah, especially because, like, the Astra suck meta sucked. Like, it was terrible to watch. It felt like it was terrible to play. You know, and you were playing Raze and then switched to Sage for that last map there. It feels like the meta is way more flexible now. Like, you're not just like, this is the only way to play, wait until 30 seconds left in a round and then go for it. Do you feel like that, you know, like, what is G2 feeling about that? Are you guys feeling good right now?
I feel like we feel really, really good and confident. So yeah, I think the meta is favoring us more. Like the Astra thing is a bit gone and we still try to play it. I mean, abuse it as much as we can. And yeah, it suits us and hopefully we can still abuse it as much as we can win this tournament.
Well, I think you also have to like credit to some of your other teammates. Mixwell is like such a good fit for you guys, right? Like he slides in there really, really well. You know, like the other thing that impressed me was how flexible with changes you were, right? Like it felt like in map 2 and then going into the beginning of map 3 that you were able to make a whole bunch of reads and see kind of where they were playing and how they were doing it. Who's making those calls? Is it all IGLing? Is it the full team speaking up? Like take me behind the scenes on it.
I mean, it's everybody. I mean, Kolda is the main caller, and then whoever has a read or they gather some info, we trust this call and we do it on the flow. Mm-hmm. I mean, sometimes Kolda overcalls the flow calls, so mainly Kolda, but then with like a spice of us all like pitching into the calling.
The big kind of theme that I have for this tournament is like sacrifice, right? So like Reykjavik was a lot of, hey, we're just happy to be here. It's the first international LAN tournament. Like it was all fun, hugs and games. This feels like a lot more of people like fighting and clawing their way to be able to get here. Like what are some sacrifices that you've had to make to be able to be here?
I mean, it was a rough 12 months. Like we gathered this roster like 3 months ago. We had a month of practice, like unworthy practice, I would say. It was like because we changed players, it's constantly renewing everything. Then we practiced non-stop for 2 months. We went to boot camp for a month. We didn't see our families, didn't see anything. We're like locked up in boot camp for a month, just practicing grinding. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it feels really rewarding to be here. compared to, I think, last year. I mean, to Reykjavik, I feel like the level increased a lot, so you have to grind a lot more. Like the level in EU in other regions, you can see by this game, the Korean team could pull off a map of EU team. So like the level increased compared to like Reykjavik.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially after, like, you watch Reykjavik, yeah, Sentinels had a good run, and, you know, you had, like, Boaster coming out, but, like, there was no Vision Strikers. There was no Turkish team. There was, you know what I mean? Like, all these big-name teams weren't there. Would you, like, how does the competition feel? You said that, you know, there's this huge jump between Reykjavik and now. Is that across the board, like, just in general, everybody's harder to beat?
Like, yeah, like very, very... Like it increased so hard, at least in EU, like every single team is so competitive. Like the level went from like being here to going up here. And then even if you practice any team, in Turkish team, CS team, it's so hard.
Yeah.
Like the skill gap, like the utility usage, every team is getting better and better every single month. And I think like the Worlds, if we'll see a lot more like different countries in there, like Turkey or like some teams from CIS, like it's going to be like a really competitive year for Valorant.
Now, is there one team that you're just dying to play right now? Like, you guys still have plenty of matches, you know what I mean? Like, this is a whole nother week, essentially, of going head-to-head. Is there a team that you're just, like, dying to be able to take a piece out of?
I mean, for me, of course, the Sentinels, which we'll face in the group 2 times. So for me, it's them, because they're like they're crowned theoretically the best team in the world right now. And it's really good for us because we're the underdogs. And we have nothing to lose, and they have to lose a lot. They have to defend the title still. I mean, we have to win against them, because if we win this tournament, we qualify to Worlds automatically. We don't play the last chance qualifiers with them. And I have a second team, which is Gambit, because we practice them a lot online, and we want to see how they play online.
Yeah, and I mean, it's also like a European rivalry, right? Like you want to beat them. Last thing before I get you out of here, again, thanks so much for taking the time to talk with us today.
It's all good.
You know, like, what is, I guess, like, having seen the way that Sentinels have developed, right? Having seen a bunch of these teams kind of pop off and go where they're going, you know, like, what does it mean to be representing G2? Like, I'm a CSGO guy for a long time. You know, G2 has such a long storied history in CSGO. To be able to come over and compete for this org in Valorant, like, what would it mean to you to be able to be the team and the org that's able to take it home here in Berlin?
I mean, for me, like back in the CS days, like I was a CSGO pro. So for me, when G2 was created, I love the brand. I like how it looks. I like people who are running it, and it was a dream for me to play it. And now it's my dream to win tournaments for G2. So it means a lot to me. And I think we can definitely do it with this roster and this organization backing us.
Hey, you guys have the know-how. I have a lot of faith in you. Congrats on the win. Looking forward to what you're able to do in the next week. And again, thanks so much for taking the time today.
Thank you for the interview.